drains that one.
Class of the field and have played really, really well, and those three will all be battling it down, to try to get that regional berth.
Yeah, Monroe beat Lake Stevens 52-48 back on January 9th, and then lost to the Vikings by the final score of 55-52 just last Wednesday night. We will take a break, come back, take a look at tonight's starting lineups and game action. We're live at Monroe High School for Game 2 of the doubleheader. Game 1 on the boys' side went to Monroe 41-37 over Mariner. It's Mount Vernon and Monroe tonight in Game 2 of our twin bill right here on Fox Sports 1380. .24 with Jackson at half. Kamiak boys down 31-24 to Cascade at the half.
I've been recognized.
That's like giving the thing that drives him the most crazy when you give the losing score first. Final score. Yeah. Sometimes. No, Jackson boys don't play until Saturday. Jackson girls. Jackson girls are behind 24-24 at the half. Game intro, please, sir. Okay. The world's longest game.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Switching to the
Monroe Bearcats, a 5'10" sophomore, wearing number 15, Jaden Alexander. Mount Vernon, a 5'9" senior, wearing number 21, Brianna Hart. For the Bearcats, a 5'4" junior, wearing number 20, Emily Donnelly. For Mount Vernon, a 5'7" freshman, wearing number 22, Jocelyn Evans. For the Bearcats, a 5'10" senior, wearing number 24, Alexander. And for Mount Vernon, a 5'8" senior.
That's the Mount Vernon coaching staff.
And for your Bearcats, at 6 foot, a senior, wearing number 42, Amber Van Blunt. And head coach for Mount Vernon is Marielle Hinderman. She's assisted by Holly Hay, Bill Nutty, and Adam Walker. Matt Schalfan is the head coach for the Bearcat. He is assisted by Ashley Tuiasosopo, Gary Bursky, Kathy Pottis, and Jill Skoll. Your officials tonight are Dwayne Taylor, Mike DeLong, and Alan Bowers. If you'll please stand and rise for the playing of the national anthem, performed tonight by the Monroe High School Band under the direction of Mr. Ryan Hyde.
Well, Bill, we liked it so much the first time before the first game, they decided, they stood right in front of us and said, no national anthem on the second game.
They lied.
They lied right to our face.
But they did do a very nice job, the Monroe High School band.
So here we go. It's the Monroe Bearcats and the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. For the Mount Vernon Bulldogs, they will start Jenna Moores, Allison Markin, Brennan Hart, Jocelyn Evans, and Brittany Munson. As we mentioned, one player sick. Maddie James will not be playing this evening. And they added 2 to the roster, Becca Jensen and Angelina Fast. For the Monroe Bearcats, their head coach, Matt Chalfant, it'll be Kylie Ferreira, Jaden Alexander, Emily Donnelly, Alex Alexander, and Amber Van Brunt on the floor. And the thing we mentioned, Bill, or that we noticed so far, Monroe, the girls team and the boys team sit on opposite ends of the gym during the game.
They do that just to confuse us.
They do indeed. So the ball is in the air, and here we go. Controlled by the Monroe Bearcats. They go down. Shot is missed, and a foul is going to be called. Looks like it's going to be Emily Donnelly. The foul was missed, or the shot was missed there by Monroe, and it's going to be on Donnelly. Yeah, it will be Emily Donnelly, her first personal foul, and the first team foul. We're 11 seconds in.
Full court pressure put on by Monroe.
Mount Vernon to bring it out. Overplay on the defense. Stolen away by the Bearcats. Kylie Ferreira with it. Down low they go. Bounce, and go. First 2 points of the ball game goes to Amber Van Brunt, and it's a 2-0 lead for the Bearcats. And again, full court pressure. Vernon and Monroe. The winner to play Snohomish, both boys and girls. Snohomish at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Everett Community College. The loser awaits the Kamiak Jackson winner against Lake Stevens on Saturday. So we wouldn't play until next Tuesday. Mount Vernon with it. Shot on the way. Up and it's good. Allison Markin, top of the key, ties it at 2.
Nice job moving the ball around. Found Markham just outside the free throw line.
And then going down is for another bucket. So she's got both buckets so far for the Monroe Bearcats. It's a 4-2 lead. Up the floor for Mount Vernon, Jocelyn Evans, and a foul is going to be called. The officials tonight, Mike DeLong, Alan Bowers, and Dwayne Taylor. And it's going to be on one of the Bearcats. The foul will be on Jaden Alexander, her first personal foul, and the second team foul, of the first half. Inbounds now for Mount Vernon. Bulldogs in their traveling green uniforms, trimmed in white with a little bit of black trim. White numbers as they have it top of the key. Allison Markin. Markin give it over to the right-hand side. One player falls down for Monroe on the lean in there by Evans. That's a miss, no good. Rebound controlled by Monroe. Bearcats with the basketball up the floor. Ferreira at the left wing. Looking down low as they'll work the perimeter right side now. They'll bring it back out, reset the offense. Emily Donnelly out between the circles. 14 to shoot. 30-second shot clock in girls basketball. Left-hand side it goes. That's Jaden Alexander. Alexander goes right side to Donnelly. Down to 5 seconds to shoot. Give it off again to Alexander. Goes in, off the window, no good. She traveled with the basketball. Got to 1 on the shot clock. Committed the turnover and give it right back over to Mount Vernon.
And nice defense by Mount Vernon that time, denying and finally forcing Alexander into an inadvisable drive.
About 2 minutes into the contest, a 4-2 lead for Monroe. Overplay there on the defense, nearly a steal, but Mount Vernon will bring it out of backcourt. Evans stopped for a moment, then has the ball ripped off. Knocked away there by Alexander, picked up there, going in, laying up, and good by Emily Donnelly.
Boy, Kylie Ferreira, nice lead pass, leading her right to the hole for the lay-in.
It's a 4-point lead for the Bearcats on their home floor. Westco number 3, Monroe, both the boys and the girls. This is the second game of our doubleheader. The first game went to Monroe 41-37. The students stayed and are watching this ball game. The band behind us as well. Bounce pass looking down low, and they're going to say out of bounds. Allison Markin was the intended. She had her back to the basket there. Was going to be the recipient of the pass, but the ball was knocked out of bounds there by Monroe.
Actually called a kick, so they will reset the 30-second clock.
Kicked the basketball, and it'll still be Mount Vernon ball, though, with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Down 6-2. Looking to throw it in. Way out top side, knocked away. Into the student section on the far side. Jaden Alexander knocked it away. So Mount Vernon will throw it in from the midcourt stripe. Looking, still looking. Finally, It goes on the inbounds to Moores. Jenna Moores starts the dribble. Changes direction. Pulls up. Gives it off to Markin. Looking down low into traffic and knocked away. Intercepted there by Van Brunt, and she gets it off to a teammate. Up the floor they go. It almost looked like Alex Alexander was going to leave. She went down, pushed the door open to the outside, but maybe she carried the ball out of bounds as well, because give it right back over to Mount Vernon.
You know, Monroe just needs to slow down. They do have superior talent. They've shown that over the year, but they seem to be a little bit flighty so far on the night.
Here's a knock away and a steal. It's going to be taken by Monroe. Donnelly has it at the left wing. Back out topside to Jaden Alexander. 24:45 to go in the first quarter. A 6-2 lead for the Bearcats on their home floor. They work it left-hand side. Alexander along the baseline, off the glass and in. She went along baseline, then leaned back and put it up and in.
They were much more patient that time and ended up getting a good shot on the baseline drive.
Bill doesn't like it when you're flighty. Up the floor comes Moores. Moores, little change of direction. Give it off to Evans. Jocelyn Evans still working out between the rings. 13 on the shot clock. They'll go out to the top to Hart. Hart looking, she'll kind of put up a runner off the side of the backboard and then got bailed out. Bailed out by Monroe with, I think it's going to be Van Brunt who picks up the foul here off of a wing and a prayer that went up.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about sportsmanship. The student section for Monroe started counting off 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 when there were about 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And, you know, she believed them, unfortunately. And if I was an official, I'd go over and talk to the crowd over there, because that's really not fair.
So the first free throw is no good, and she will get another. I think it's kind of funny. So, next one, no, neither one will go. And the
sportsmanship is for a lifetime, Tom.
That's right, but winning's for today. That's why we keep score. Here's a shot on the wing. Good! 3 ball in the corner, left side, Kylie Ferreira. And it's a 9-point lead and a timeout called by Marielle Hinderman, the head coach of Mount Vernon. Will step aside with 3:55 to go in the first quarter of action. Our score, the Monroe Bearcats 11 and the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 2. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380.
We all want to protect our gift of sight, which is why regular eye exams are so important. Regular eye exams not only allow your optometrist to improve the quality of your vision by changing the prescription of your glasses or contact lenses, but also to assess your overall eye health. Even if you
we see a lot of the
it does not
Monroe boys basketball players are over in the student section now supporting the girls out on the floor, and they don't need a lot of support because they're leading already by 9 at 11-2. Mount Vernon basketball. Bring it over to the left-hand side. It goes to Sam Silver, and she traveled the basketball. Committed the turnover, give it right back over to Monroe. 3:41 to play in the first quarter of action. An 11-2 lead for Monroe. And here come the Bearcats with the basketball out of backcourt at the 3:35 mark to play in the first quarter. On top of the key to Van Brunt. Down low it goes, too hard off the glass, no good by Lauren Moore. And the ball went out of bounds. Last touch by a Bearcat. It'll be Mount Vernon basketball.
You know, Monroe can go fairly deep in their lineup. They have a lot of players that can play with just 7 or 8 players on the Mount Vernon side. Fatigue is definitely going to become a factor.
Mount Vernon has a hard time scoring big bunches of points, too. They've been held under 20 3 times, or 22 or less, actually, 3 times during the regular season. Down low, little change of direction. Shot on the way by Evans, no good. Jocelyn Evans, who is a 5'7" freshman, she will go to the free throw line after being fouled here. Monroe's, they're going to win it on the foul board because they've already picked up their 4th team foul. Emily Donnelly with her 2nd team foul. Free throw on the way. It's up and it is no good. And she will get another at the 3:11 mark to play in the first quarter. The winner against Snohomish on Saturday at Everett Community College, 3 o'clock. Mark Ockett and Mike Buckholz have the first 2 games on Saturday over at ECC. Beautiful facility. If you've not been there, you got to go. Great facility in North Everett there. And next free throw is good. And it's 11-3 ball game. Out of backcourt. Monroe with it. Bring it up the left-hand side. Drivston. Feed over right side to Ferreira. Shoots a three and hits the three ball. What a dagger that one is. Drops it through and makes it an 11-point lead for the Bearcats.
Ferreira with 2 big threes. She also has a couple of steals and an assist early in the game.
Still on the dribble is Jenna Moores. Not getting much help there. Tough defense here. Down to 15 of the shot clock. Goes in, forgot the ball. Ball went out of bounds. And the officials are disagreeing with each other. As Alan Bowers is saying one way, it looked like the scarecrow on the Wizard of Oz. They went that way.
Yeah, well, they got what they do, what good officials always do. They met, they got the call right, and Mount Vernon will retain possession.
And the bald guy won.
Yay.
On the inbounds, it'll be Monroe. Actually, it wasn't. Alan Bowers won. He's pretty much bald. So here we go. Bill says, change the subject. Down low we go. Turnaround jumper on the way. It's going to be no good by Allison Markin. And the rebound controlled by Monroe. Bearcat basketball leading by 11 points at the 2:19 mark to play in the first quarter. Down low, putting it up too hard. Offline right, no good by Lauren Moore. Missed it. And the rebound controlled by Mount Vernon. Jenna Moores comes across the timeline. Looking down low. Goes inside, back out on top side for a three. It's going to come up short, no good. That was missed by Sam Silver. And then a 2-point takedown here. Became a wrestling match. We had an MMA fight the other night in Snohomish. This time it was a wrestling match as somebody got taken to the ground. We're going to call the foul here on Jenna Moores, I believe, of Mount Vernon.
Yeah, she was kind of away from the action. I don't...
Or did they say 4-0?
All I saw was that Lauren Moore was taking down Allison Markin, so the foul was away from that action.
Yeah, Abigail Brown picks up the foul. The 5'11 sophomore, her first personal foul and the first team foul of the half against Mount Vernon. 1:48 to play in the first quarter. Dump it down low to Lauren Moore. They're going to say no shot, and they're going to call an offensive charging foul here. As she kind of lowered the shoulder as she was making space for herself, and they'll call Lauren Moore for the foul. That's her first personal foul. 5th team foul. Mount Vernon out of bounds. 14-3 the lead. Now we're going to have an illegal screen penalty and a little push and shove action here. And Alan Bowers made that call from the prison.
Oh, it was a good call. Ferreira just ended up on the back of her head there. All of a sudden you're standing up, all of a sudden you're sitting down. And so that was a good call.
Yeah, he was on the other end of the floor over by the Twin Rivers Correctional Facility, but he still made the call. But that was a good, as you mentioned, good call. So inbounds here for Monroe. Going in, scoop lane's going to be no good by Ferreira. Rebound controlled by Mount Vernon, but then immediately full court pressure being applied. Double teamed in the corner there. Going deeper into the corner is Moores, looking for somebody that's open. Somebody's got to be if she's being double teamed. They finally have not brought it across the stripe yet, and they do. Into front court. There is no 10-second line. Down to 8 to shoot, though. Looking down low as they work at the right-hand side. Here's a shot on the way. Too short, no good. Brendan Hart missed that one. Hart on the miss, and the rebound controlled by Monroe. Up the floor, Bearcats with it. Jaden Alexander goes in. Last time it worked, this time it doesn't. Missed the along the line lay-in, and a foul is going to be called off the rebound. After the miss, the rebound foul will be whistled here on Monroe, and that's going to be on Hannah Drivstuen. And for her, that's her first personal foul and the 6th team foul.
You know, early in the ball game, Mount Vernon was not getting any looks. Now they're getting looks. They just can't put the ball in the basket, but they're just sort of hanging around. They just need to start dropping some shots.
So inside a minute to play, 25 on the shot clock. Here comes Mount Vernon. Bulldogs, Moores has it, then knocked away from her and out of bounds. So it'll still be in the possession of Monroe. No reset on the shot clock as it was knocked out of bounds there by Chelsea Sancher. And they will look to inbound it here. Mount Vernon with it. They've only scored 3 points here in the quarter. Nearly stolen away, but Ropo almost had it on the steal, but Monroe retains. They still have it. 10 to shoot. Long cross-court pass over to the near side to Moores. Goes to the baseline, down to 4, down to 3. Up, Brittany Morgan puts it up. It's going to be no good as the shot, second shot, third shot opportunity, fourth opportunity, no good. None of those would go for Mount Vernon. Everybody had a shot at it, and none of them would go. And then early offense on the other end. Wouldn't that just frost you as it goes in for a backdoor lay-in by Jaden Alexander, and it's 16-3.
That's so frustrating for Mount Vernon because they're just working their tails off. Got about 4 opportunities, just cannot get the ball to drop and just not shooting the ball well so far in the game.
Down to 3, down to 2. Looking at a shot, she'll just chuck it to the end line. And we've reached the end of the first quarter of action. First round of the girls district tournament underway, and our score after 1 quarter. It's the Monroe Bearcats 16, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 3. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380.
We all want to protect our gift of sight, which is why regular eye exams are so important. Regular eye exams not only allow your optometrist to improve the quality of your vision by changing the prescription of your glasses or contact lenses, but also to assess your overall eye health. Even if you see clearly now, it does not mean your eyes are healthy or won't change over time.
Live at Monroe High School tonight, Tom Lafferty along with Bill Kusler, Pat Castro, and Rick Dana on the stats here tonight. Brandon Hamilton at the controls at the Fox Sports 1380 studios in downtown Everett. Todd Elvig on STSPN keeping us on the air video-wise as well. Back to action we go. And it's Mount Vernon basketball, then knocked away, nearly stolen, but picked up in back court. 15 to shoot. They got to bring it into front court first, though, and they do. Across the timeline they go. Jocelyn Evans now out to the midcourt stripe. Sam Silver looking down low, down to 5 to shoot. Puts up the elbow, back out they go, nearly stolen, still no shot, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Turns it over to Monroe. Bill.
First quarter statistics, Monroe was 7 for 12 from the field, 58%. They were 2 of 2 from three-point range. Kylie Ferreira with both of those. Didn't shoot a free throw. Mount Vernon held just 1 for 9 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 1 for 4 from the free throw line.
Monroe won both regular season meetings against between these two teams. Down low they go. Back out for a 3-ball. That will not go. A little bit short, no good by Hannah Drivston. And the ball went out of bounds. And it'll be last touch by Monroe. It'll be Mount Vernon basketball. Monroe beat Mount Vernon 69-26 on Wednesday, the 14th of January. And then last Friday night, they beat Mount Vernon 46-33. So a turnover here, and it goes right back into the hands of Mount Vernon. Excuse me, of Monroe, leading it by 13 points. Mount Vernon has not had the lead in the game. Out by the center line, Kylie Ferreira on the dribble. Changes directions, goes in the corner. Here's a shot on the way. That's a 3. That's up and it's good by Hannah Drivston. It's up and in, and it's a 16-point lead for Monroe. And they back off defensively, and Mount Vernon brings it into front court. Looks right, goes right to the cheerleader in the far corner, but it was last touched by a Monroe Bearcat, so it'll still be Mount Vernon basketball with 19 on the shot clock.
Mount Vernon is spending so much effort, out on top about, 30 feet away from the hole that they're not, not looking in for Allison Markin at all, and she's their best bet if she just pulls down a rebound.
A rebound, then we've got a miss here, and then it's going to be controlled by Mount Vernon. Markin will bring it up herself. Going in, trying to penetrate this defense by Monroe. They play tough
nice
defense.
Pass.
Nice pass down low, but saved it as Sam Silver and get out of trouble. Last touch as it was knocked out of bounds by the Bearcats. Mount Vernon will retain possession with 11 on the shot clock.
Monroe has a really good feel for the double team. That's one thing that's really giving Mount Vernon fits right now. They're able to double team without allowing an open player to materialize, and so Mount Vernon then just really doesn't have many options on offense.
Jenna Moore's down low it goes. Here's a turnaround jumper. It's going to be up and no good by Abigail Brown, and the foul is going to be called here off the rebound. I think they're going to get Brown trying to clear out to get her own miss, and it will be Abigail Brown, the 5'11 sophomore for the Bulldogs, her second personal foul, third team foul. 6:07 to play in the first half. It's a 16-point lead for Monroe. Matt Chalfant giving up a secret signal, touch his nose. That means steal. But I don't think they're going to steal a base here. But going in and putting it up, a running banker from about 8 feet away with the right hand is Jaden Alexander. Maybe that's what touching the nose means. Jaden, take it yourself, and she did. Makes it 21-3. Ball goes out of bounds. Bad pass. Give it right back to the Bearcats.
I remember watching Jaden Alexander last year as a freshman. I thought to myself, there's a girl that's going to develop into a really fine player, and you can see it already in her sophomore season. Really comfortable taking the ball to the hoop.
And a timeout called by Monroe. We'll step aside with 5:37 to play in the first half. Our score, it's the Monroe Bearcats 21, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 3. Snohomish County Western Conference Basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 13. Your wish comes true. 5:37 to go here in the first half. 21-3, an 18-point lead for the Monroe Bearcats. It's been all Monroe so far. I should mention Ashley Tuiasosopo is one of the assistant coaches for Matt Chalfant, and she's up kind of questioning the official on. She's the official keeper of the timeouts. You always have to have an assistant coach keeper of the timeouts. So I think they're just making sure who's got full timeouts, and in the long run it probably won't make a difference, but you never know. So here we go. Monroe basketball, leading it by 18 points. Almost went out of bounds, saved there by Ferreira. Alexander kick it back out to the right side to Drivston. Goes in, splits the defender and lays it up and in.
Wow. What a great move. Little step around and then kind of scooped the ball up from about waist high, and that thing danced right into the net.
And here's a travel violation off the inbounds on Mount Vernon, and they have committed their 10th turnover here, and the lead is 20 points for Monroe. The opening round of the district tournament. The winner to play Snohomish on Saturday at Everett Community College. The loser waits till next Tuesday in the loser's bracket game. Running jumper no good, put back no good. First one that was a miss by Alexander, the second miss by Alexander. So the sisters each miss, and this will send Alex Alexander, the senior, to the free throw line.
Sisters,
there were never such to. First free throw, good. Brings rain, but it's good. A very high arcing free throw. I don't want to know, am I Rosemary Clooney or Vera Ellen? That's one of my question on that one. I don't have the legs for it.
I like the Marissa Stevens arrangement myself.
Next free throw is up, and it's good. And the lead is 22 points for Monroe. All Bearcats tonight. We kind of knew that coming in to the contest here. Second game of our doubleheader. Back in across the timeline is Moores for Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon a winner last night by 2 over Mariner in a play-in game, the tiebreaker for that last chance into the district tournament. A running miss, no good. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and a foul is going to be called. Bailed out again by the defense of Monroe as Allison Markin put up a shot that was going to go nowhere near the rim. But the foul is going to be whistled here, and Amber Van Brunt. That's 2 personal fouls on Van Brunt, and each of those have been the clearing out, looking for a rebound foul.
Yep, and so after the shot, so away from the hoop, that brings Abigail Brown to the free throw line.
And puts up the first one, no good. Rims off, and the rebound controlled by Jaden Alexander. Bearcats with the basketball, leading by 22 points. As they swing it left-hand side to Alexander again. Out top side to Ferreira. Starts the dribble. 15 to shoot. Changes direction. Goes in. Lost the ball. Picked it back up. Tried to force it up. Couldn't do it. Rebound down low by Van Brunt. And she gets thrown to the ground. Oh, they're going to call 3 seconds in the key before the 2-point takedown and the 3-point near fall that happened in the key that time. Wow.
Yikes.
You know what? How do you not call something there?
Yeah, I don't think she was trying to hurt her.
No.
But yeah, she was ripping the ball so hard that it just threw the other player down to the floor.
4:05 to go. Timeout on the floor. We're in the first half. Our score 25-3. Big lead for Monroe. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380.
Wins by 2 points. Has to travel all the way down here without a practice between. They've got to be tired, and it's really showing. They just are having a difficult time getting the ball in the hole, and I'm getting pretty close to talking about one of my major pet peeves, which we'll get to in just a moment.
So up the floor, here comes Mount Vernon as they swing it down low to Abigail Brown and lost the handle on it and picked off by Monroe. Bearcats out of backcourt. They'll work the perimeter left-hand side. Now to the top again. Jaden Alexander puts up a shot and puts it in.
Okay, here it goes. Monroe's up 28-3 against an exhausted undermanned team, and they're continuing to full court press. I hate that. I just think it's a real sign of poor sportsmanship. You do not need to beat a team 100-0 to advance. And there's absolutely no reason that Monroe needs to be pressing right now.
Foul's going to be called here. Whistled on Alexander. Alex Alexander picks up the foul. That's her first personal foul and the 8th team foul. So free throw here for Mount Vernon's Allison Markin. First one, and it's a miss, no good. So no, they sounded the horn. But here's a turnaround jumper, will not go. Kind of flung it up toward the hoop there by Jaden Alexander. And the ball went out of bounds. So last touch by Mount Vernon, it'll be Monroe basketball. 28-3 the lead, 25-point lead for the Bearcats here. Out on top, Donnelly. Working it over the left-hand side, shot on the way, that's a 3. It's up and it is good for Kylie Ferreira and makes it a 28-point lead for Monroe. Jenna Moores now to Abigail Brown, dribbles into the paint, and foul is going to be called as a tough defense there by Amber Van Brunt, and I think they're going to get Van Brunt for the foul. They will for her. That's her 3rd personal foul and the 9th team foul. And Abigail Brown at the free throw line. 2 shots coming up. First one is good. First points of the second quarter for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was a long drought for Mount Vernon, but maybe that can give them a little impetus to get something going on the offensive end.
And the next one by Brown. Holds the ball high over her head. A little bit of an unorthodox style. This one will not go. And the rebound controlled by Lauren Moore for the Bearcats. Up the floor they come. Going in, lay it up, no good. That was a miss there by Alex Alexander. And here comes Mount Vernon. Moores out between the circles. Kind of gets bumped there. She comes across the line and across the top of the key. Looking to Abigail Brown. Brown has a 10 to shoot. 3-pointer on the way, deep in the right-hand corner. That's going to be no good. And up the floor, here comes Monroe with a lay-in, easily up and in for Jaden Alexander, and it's 33-4. 29-point lead as the lead ever increases for the Bearcats. Spinning away, spinning through a bunch of players, then getting all the way to the baseline and then didn't put up a shot. They kick it back out on top. 12 seconds to shoot. That's Jenna Moores. Moores feeding it down low, overplaying the defense. Going to be taken by Donnelly. Up the floor, going in. Lay-in is up and good for Jaden Alexander. Fresh bodies coming off the bench now for Matt Chalfant and the Monroe Bearcats. No full court pressure here as Moores comes across the stripe, down to Brown. Brown goes in, has the ball maybe partially blocked. Donnelly grabs the rebound up the floor. Jaden Alexander goes in, laying up and good. Instant replay of the last time, and this is turned into garbage time here, and we're at a minute 22 to play in the first half. All Monroe, 37-4 with a timeout on the floor. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380. Yes. Second half. I know. Believe me, I know. What's the lead now? 30. Well, a 33-point lead for the Monroe Bearcats, and they've just been all loaded up and ready to go in this one after playing Tuesday night against Snohomish and losing to the Panthers. That relegated them to the third position, meaning they had to play a home game in the opening round, where Snohomish and Lake Stevens on the girls' side get the first round buys in the district tournament. Mount Vernon, on the other hand, they played on Monday night. They played last night in a winner-in game because of the tie with Mariner, and so they're playing their third game in 4 nights are the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Plus outmanned by the other team.
And so Monroe's gone to some reserves. They're going into a zone defense. As we'll see if Mount Vernon can crack that zone a little bit.
As they work it down to Abigail Brown. Brown puts it down on the deck once, puts up a shot, no good, gets her own rebound. Then a foul's going to be called. I think they're going to get her for the foul as well, as Abigail Brown probably, and like I Mr. Basketball, but you don't need to put it on the deck when you get it. Get it inside, just force your way in. Yeah,
and that's going to trouble for them. That's her third personal foul, and she's their one big inside presence. They're one physical player. They can't afford to lose her.
Out on the outside, 3 ball on the way. That's going to be no good. That was taken by Karina Ropo, and the rebound controlled by Alex Alexander, Back out to Donnelly out between the circles. Over to the right-hand side, first time we've seen Chelsea Sancher. Actually, we've seen her. They go fairly deep on the bench, too. Shot on the way, missed, no good. 25 to play in the first half. Up the floor, Mount Vernon with it. As they come to the top of the key, Jocelyn Evans. Evans dribbles down and is going to be closed off there. Back out for a 3, down to 11 seconds ago. That's going to be by Moores, controlled by Monroe. Donnelly down to 4, down to 3. In the corner for a 3 on the way. Air ball no good, and this first half will draw to a close, and it's been all Monroe tonight, and they lead it big. 37-4 here at the half in the opening round of the Northwest District Tournament for the 4A girls. We'll take a break, come back, take a look at scores of other ball games. Again, our score at the half, Monroe 37 and Mount Vernon 4. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380.
apiece of Kylie Ferreira, Jaden Alexander, and Alex Alexander. 9 assists for Monroe, led by the 4 of Emily Donnelly and the 3 of Kylie Ferreira. 1 assist for Mount Vernon. Monroe also has 6 steals, led by the 2 apiece of Kylie Ferreira and Jaden Alexander. When we come back, we'll have the second half of action here from Snohomish High School. We'll be back in 1 minute. This is Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380.
Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Unclogging most internal drains for just $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
We're at halftime here at Monroe High School, a 37-4 lead for the Monroe Bearcats over the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. Mount Vernon yet to make an appearance here in the second half. Western Conference basketball on Fox Sports 1380 is sponsored tonight by Everett Community College, by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, Skagit Bank, Glass by Lund, by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, Screen Printing Northwest, Erickson Furniture, Frontier Communications, Papa Murphy's Pizza, and WescoAthletics.com. Our Fox Sports 1380 player of the game is sponsored by Skagit Bank, genuine lasting relationships. By Screen Printing Northwest, featuring Everett's premier screen printing and embroidery. And our turning point play of the game is brought to you by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Love at 425 degrees. Well, the klaxon is sounded for the second half. Monroe is gathered around their coach, Matt Chalfant, to our left. Mount Vernon is nowhere to be found.
Probably the best thing for them is just to sit down, take a rest, just listen a little bit because they are very fatigued. Now they're coming out onto the floor and obviously they're outgunned tonight, but they're playing hard and they're representing their town well.
Well, and you still play. You advance now to play next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we shall see as they're going to gather around, and the coaches haven't made an appearance, but they're going to gather around each other and get set to go here as we count down the seconds to begin the second half of action here at Monroe. Again, the boys defeated Mariner tonight 41-37. Monroe did. The Jackson girls won 55-46 over Kamiak. So that game is over in the 4A. And Kamiak boys were up by 1 point at the end of the third quarter. Cascade with a huge fourth quarter defeats Kamiak 67-53. So 67-53 Cascade boys over Kamiak, as they were up by 1 point at the end of the third quarter, ended up winning by 14. So we will tell you what all that means as we go along the rest of the evening here. We'll have a quick post-game show as well. Down low, Monroe with an easy backdoor bucket to Alex Alexander. And they will back away from the full court pressure. Bill, you can remain
I can
seated.
relax. I was ready to rush the floor, but thank goodness.
And now we're getting perilously close to the 40-point lead. And we didn't have a reset of the 30-second clock. And so one of the gentlemen down in front of us was... And so we didn't reset the 30-second clock. We're going to have it out of bounds here with should have about 15 seconds. Is that what they're going to do?
That's about right.
Everybody's kind of mind wanders.
I think we've always said that running the 30-second clock is the worst job in the world.
Yeah. Will you clean out the toilets? You bet. Run the 30-second clock? No way.
Yeah.
Because, you know why? Just like that.
It's hard.
Yeah. And everybody knows when it goes, and you didn't reset sleep at the switch, I think they call it.
What did it go?
You heard me. The klaxon. Now we're going to have a pushing foul off the inbounds here, as it was trying to be inbounded by Mount Vernon, and they're going to call a pushing foul off that, and they're going to whistle this one on Brittany Munson. her first personal foul, first team foul. And 40 points second half will initiate the running clock. So we'll see if we get there. Did we have a running clock in basketball this year yet? We haven't. Football, like every other week. Yeah. Here we go as the offline shot, no good for Monroe. Here comes Mount Vernon. Bulldogs with it, left-hand side. As they look down low, that's Markin. Allison Markin with it, starts the dribble, goes to the baseline. Tries to spin in against Alexander. She does and puts it up and in.
Boy, nice crossover move by Markin to put the ball in the hole.
Down the left-hand side, going in, running lay-in's going to be missed, no good by Alexander. Kept alive here by Van Brunt, and then she goes down hard to the floor and picked up by Mount Vernon. Here come the Bulldogs out of back court. And a whistle and a foul away from the, I think it's going to be Abigail Brown.
If it is, that's 4.
It will be Abigail Brown away from the basketball, and she kind of looks up and heads to the other end like, yeah, that was me, and she will now go to the bench. I think it was the I'm tired of being pushed around foul.
Yeah, she and Amber Van Brunt have been battling each other all game long. Very physical underneath. And that's going to really hurt Mount Vernon because while Allison Markin is 6 feet tall, she looks like she weighs about 125 pounds. And she doesn't have the strength underneath that Brown gives Mount Vernon.
So here's Monroe with the basketball as they work it around the perimeter. Donnelly has it. Now down low, turnaround jumper is going to be no good by Alex Alexander, and she's going to go to the free throw line after the foul whistled here on Mount Vernon. And this will be called on 15. That's Sam Silver. Her first personal foul, the third team foul, and free throws here for Alex Alexander for the Bearcats. Free throw up, and it is good. And another will follow here. 40-6.
She has a really nice style. Nice high, just slices right through the net.
Up and in, and so it's 41-6, 35-point lead. 40 point is that magic number for running clock. Not that we're looking for the running clock, but it gets you home. Gets you home to watch the last word or something. Backing in, out to the right side, and that's what Mount Vernon does not want, and see if this will help. It will not. Rimming out a 3 ball in the right-hand corner. That's going to be no good by Jocelyn Evans, and then it was knocked out of bounds. So Mount Vernon will keep it in the front court with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Looking to throw it in. Jenna Moores still looking into traffic she goes, and it gets inside to Evans. Evans will try to kick it back out. She does. Right side to Moores. Moores goes in. Ball may have been partially blocked there. Ferreira, here comes Monroe, and she'll just hold up at the midcourt stripe and wait for her teammates to follow her. Calls for the elbow play as he brings it over the right-hand side. That's Jaden Alexander. Back out to her sister, down low, going in, laying up, no good. Foul called. Free throws coming up here for Amber Van Brunt. Got it at the left-hand side, missed the lay-in, got fouled, and she'll go to the stripe, and the whistle and the foul's on Allison Markin, and for that's her first personal foul, and the fourth team foul of the second half on Mount Vernon.
That's what Monroe wants to do with Abigail Brown out of there. Van Brunt a lot stronger in the post, and they were able to get it through there and draw the foul.
First free throw, no good. And it'll be Van Brunt with the second upcoming here. Eyes the hoop, puts it up, too hard, no good, missed them both. But the rebound is going to be a reload here for Alex Alexander. Back out to, and making it good on the two missed free throws is Amber Van Brunt with a made about 16-footer left side, up and in, and it's 43-6, 37-point lead. Changing direction, right-hand side. Jocelyn Evans. Evans gives it off to Moores. Moores dribbles, drive along the baseline, puts it up with the right hand. Too short, no good. Battle for the rebound, won by Monroe. Bearcats out of backcourt. Up the floor they come. Jaden Alexander will wait and not try for the early offense. They'll work some clock and work it down low to Van Brunt. Goes in, spins away from the defender, but misses the lay-in. She missed two free throws. She made a 16-footer and missed the lay-in. So up the floor. Here comes Monroe. Boy, Allison Markin looked like she was going to take about an NBA +3 ball. Didn't. And there's a foul whistled here on Monroe. And they're going to call this one on Alex Alexander. The 5'10 senior picks up the foul. That's her second personal foul. First team foul. And Becca Jensen checks in for Mount Vernon. And she'll take the place of Brittany Munson. Baseline inbounds here for the Bulldogs. And a pushing foul is going to be called. That inbound play is not working for Mount Vernon because that's twice on that same inbounds play that one of the Bearcats went to the deck.
Well, it's Ferreira again. She is really a smart player. I love watching her play. She runs it from the point. She can hit three-pointers. She's a really good defender, and she's just smart, and she just held her ground when the offensive players, think that she's going to give ground, and she just draws the foul. That was just excellent, smart play by Ferreira.
Becca Jensen, first personal foul, fifth team foul, and Monroe basketball. They feed it down low, going in. Another missed lay-in, no good by Van Brunt. Gets her own rebound. Now scrap for it on the floor. Jump ball called, and the possession arrow will point to Mount Vernon's direction to the north, and it will be Mount Vernon basketball. Down 43-6 here in the opening round of the playoffs. Moores out of backcourt for the Bulldogs. Feed it right side to Markin. Back to Moores again. Closed off there defensively. 16 to shoot. They're looking down low to Markin. Reverse lay-in is going to be no good. Foul's going to be called. I think maybe Donnelly got her as she was kind of going wildly out of control, putting up a reverse lay-in. But they will get Emily Donnelly for the foul. That's her third personal foul. That's the second team foul. And Kylie Ferreira comes over to the coaching staff to our left here to get some instruction. She will, in fact, go to the bench.
Mark, that's what happens sometimes when you're aggressive, even if you're not really on balance. When you're aggressive going to the hole, oftentimes you will draw that foul, and that's what Markin was able to do, leading Mount Vernon with 4 points in the ball game, trying to make it 5 with this free throw.
On the way, and it's up, and it is short, no good. And the rebound grabbed down by Lauren Moore for the Bearcats. 43-6 the score remains. Pull-up jumper on the way. It's going to be no good by Jaden Alexander. Rebound controlled by Mount Vernon. Bulldogs out of backcourt. Up the floor, Markin has it, top of the key. 15-footer from the foul line, offline, no good. Rebound right there. Hannah Drifston grabs it. Brings it up herself out of backcourt. Feeds it to the baseline right side. Going in. Forcing it up. No good is Lauren Moore. Back out for a reload by Donnelly for 3. Rims out. No good. And the rebound controlled by Markin. Here comes Mount Vernon. 3:18 to go in the third quarter. 43-6 lead for the Bearcats. Bulldog basketball. Markin open. 3 on the way. Offline. No. Drew nothing but glass, and the rebound controlled by Donnelly up the floor to Jaden Alexander. Back out to Donnelly between the circles. Lauren Moore almost got in the way of that pass. And now Donnelly gets a play call for Matt Chalfant at the sideline. And a reach-in foul is going to be called. Jenna Moores reached in on that one, and they're going to call her for her second personal foul and the 6th team foul on Mount Vernon. Multiple players in for both teams. It's like a line change both ways, like they're coming over the boards in a hockey game. And so 5 on a side, and here we go. We'll give you the new players as we go along here. Inbounds for Monroe. Karina Ropo is one of them out between the circles, now playing the point. Top of the key, Katie Pyland in there. Pyland is a junior. Down low, kick it back out. They work it right-hand side. Looking down low again to Pyland. She forces it up with the right hand. It's going to be no good. Rebound controlled by Mount Vernon. Grabbed by Jocelyn Evans. Out of backcourt. It's a 43-6 lead for the Bearcats. Here's a long NBA 3-ball. That's going to be no good by Markin. And a push-off foul is going to be called off the rebound.
Ordinarily, you'd think that's really a bad shot, but because Mount Vernon has had so much difficulty getting open looks, you've got to put something up there.
Yeah.
And so it's worth the risk.
Yeah, chuck one up there and see what happens.
And oftentimes, too, even with the miss, you can snake your way in for an offensive board.
Or they get a foul on this one, and it was on Karina Ropo, her first personal foul, and the third team foul. Inbounds here. And then the ball was knocked out of bounds, and it'll still be Mount Vernon basketball, having a hard time getting it inbounded. They'll do it side out now in front of the Monroe Bearcat fans across the way from us that have been standing the whole game. And now on the inbounds, they work it left-hand side, out of the top of the key. Here's a turnaround jumper. Rattles, goes low and won't go for Allison Markin. That was a tough luck shot as it kicked back out. Up the floor, here comes Monroe. Top of the key as they work it around, looking down low. Markin gets a steal. It was partially deflected there and then grabbed by Mount Vernon. Bulldogs at a 43-6 deficit. Going in, off-balance shot. That one had no prayer going in, but the rebound is going to be controlled down in the far corner. Over the shoulder there by Allison Markin, picks it up. And a foul's called away from the basketball. Pushing and shoving. The ball was way out by the center line, and now a technical foul called on the assistant coach, I believe, for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs.
Well, that was unnecessary.
Yeah. We have an illegal screen, and then we have a technical foul, I think, on the assistant coach. And, well, a 37-point lead. I don't know what the point of that is. The Mount Vernon bench will get the technical foul. So 2 shots here. So that goes into the bonus now. And
so we're looking at about 4 free throws here.
4 free throws, and if 3 of them go in, we go into the running clock. And so right there by herself will be Hannah Drivston, and she will probably get the first 2. Here's the first one on the way. It's good. 44-6. A minute 41 to go in the third quarter. Free throw number 2 on the way. Will not go this time. She says, I'm done. Next. I guess we're just, it was an illegal screen on this end, so there's no
player control. So
yeah,
1 of 2 from the technical foul shots, and Monroe will get possession of the basketball.
Yeah, Matt Shelfant asked the same thing, and they said, no, player control. Okay. So, but Monroe gets the basketball now, leading at 44-6, up by 38 points as they work the perimeter right side. Ropo has it. Now to the top of the key. Here's about an 18-footer. Goes 17 feet, no good. Rebound controlled by Mount Vernon. Bulldogs with it as Jocelyn Evans brings it out of back court. And another foul call. Meanwhile, that's where, in a game like this, Bill, swallow your whistle and let's go home. Well, every ticky-tack little foul doesn't need to be called. I think we're grumpy. 2 games, two games is too many. Bill and I are a little grumpy tonight. Backing down for Mount Vernon, looking on the overplay there as it was nearly picked off there by Monroe. Here's an off-balance shot. It's going to be no good. Went out of bounds. It'll be back to the Monroe Bearcats. And they'll throw it in. 1:05 to go in the third quarter, a 44-6 lead. Yet to get over that 40-point mark, which puts you into the running clock. Karina Ropo at the right wing as they work the perimeter left side. 16 to shoot, 49 on the game clock. Down low, back out on top again as they continue to work it. Here's a running shot up, and it's good. Hannah Drivston put it up and in. That's a 40-point lead for Monroe. And they're going to stop the clock here.
Then Drivston was pressing, what she didn't need to do.
Right.
I think they're talking to the score bench about the running clock.
Right. Which is a running clock. And so they kept it running. And then they blew the whistle to tell them that it's a running clock. So, okay. And now the 2 officials, now we've reset it at 8 minutes. We're not going to restart the third quarter. So they're having some clock issues and clock deciding what they want to do. 37 seconds to go. 30 on the shot clock. And they're deciding what to do. As we mentioned earlier, all in all, it doesn't really make any difference, but you do want to get the paperwork right. Cross the I's and dot the T's and be ready to go. Or one of those. Cross it. So here we go. It's Mount Vernon basketball. Here's a steal. Karina Ropo. Ropo has it going in, puts it up too hard off the underside of the backboard, no good. And the rebound is going to be controlled by the Bulldogs. Jocelyn Evans. 17 seconds to go in the third quarter. 46-6 is the score. Turnaround shot, it's good. Up and in for Allison Markin. Bill, you're not supposed to openly cheer for a team. Down low they go, turn around, will not go for Lauren Moore. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Our score, 46-8. Monroe leading Mount Vernon. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380.
We all want to protect our gift of sight, which is why regular eye exams are so important. Regular eye exams not only allow your optometrist to improve the quality of your vision by changing the prescription of your glasses or contact lenses, but also to assess your overall eye health. Even if you see clearly now, it does not mean your eyes are healthy or won't change over time.
As the clock gets underway, starting this the fourth quarter, we're in running clock with a 40-point lead. You can't buy your way out of it, so although right now it's 38 points, it was 40 points, so we're in the running clock. Over the left-hand side, it's Monroe basketball. As they work it down to our left, they go deep in the right-hand corner. Chelsea Sancher looking down low. Katie Pylan is with it, goes in, backs in, forces one up, no good, forces two up, this one's no good, but this one will come with a free throw attached.
Abigail Brown lasted about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and she just kind of stands
fouled
there.
out.
Yeah, she knew it. She went right over to stand and ready to have a seat. 5 personal fouls on, and she will take a seat here. And Marielle Hinderman gives her a kind of a high five, but she'll take that whole 30 seconds, and they're going to stop the clock here during the switchover. She gets 30 seconds to replace her on the bench, and she'll use all 30. There's only 4 players on the bench anyway. So as she fouls out, that will send Brittany Munson back out onto the floor, and free throw here. On the way, well, Banker is up and good. Off the square and in.
I heard her call glass.
Yeah. See what happens on this one. It's on the way, and it's good. Nothing but net on that one. 40-point lead, 40-8. The next question, will Mount Vernon get to double figures? Bringing it up for the Bulldogs, Jenna Moores. Down low, no, they won't on that one because the ball went up. It was a miss by Brennan Hart and controlled here by Ropo. Brings it down for Monroe. The lay-in is up, rattles. And it will go for Chelsea Sancher, and it's 50-8, 6:57 to play. Up the floor, Moores changes direction, puts it up off balance, nowhere close, and the ball went out of bounds. On the WestcoAthletics.com scoreboard, and we're going to have a timeout called here by Mount Vernon. We'll give you some scores here as we go along. We'll keep it right here. WestcoAthletics.com scoreboard. The other 4A games going on tonight. On the girls' side, it was Jackson over Kamiak, 55-46. So Jackson girls will advance, and they will play on Saturday in the winners bracket game for the girls, and they will take on the Lake Stevens Vikings. On the boys' side, it was Cascade over Kamiak, 65-53. So Cascade will advance, and they will take on Jackson at 8 o'clock on Saturday at Everett Community College. So Kamiak kind of took the short end on both the boys and girls at 2 different places, with the boys losing to Cascade and the girls losing to Jackson. Katie Pyland gets a bucket there for the Monroe Bearcats, and it's 52-8 in the running clock situation here at Monroe. Going down, facing up was Markin.
Oh, nice.
And a nice crossover there, and the bucket is up, and it is good. 52-10. They do get this double figures. Ropo will stand and dribble for a few moments just to drain some clock. Down low they go. The lay-in, backdoor feed inside to Katie Pyland, up and good. Longtime Monroe family, the Pyland family. Up the floor. Right side. Overplay there defensively. Nearly stolen. Down low, back to the basket there is Markin. Turns around, the shot on the way. It's going to be no good. And then getting knocked down as she got the rebound was Chelsea Sancher. And a foul is going to be called. We're going to wait for everybody to clear off, and it's going to be called here on Moores, her third personal foul, and the 10th team foul. So double bonus now the rest of the way.
I'm confused why the clock continues to stop at free throws when it's a running clock.
I think you do stop it at free throws. I think it's free throws and timeouts. So the next question is, what's the point?
No, I should be more well versed.
Yeah. The running part is when it's when there's an out of bounds play, something like that, it does not stop.
Okay.
Next one, up and good. 56-10. A 46-point lead for Monroe. Bearcats down low. Markin turns, faces, puts it up off the window and in. Nicely done. Allison Markin puts it up and in.
Markin with 10 of their 12 points.
She could be a player down the road, although she's a senior. Over the right-hand side, that's Ropo, puts it up, no good. Over the back, trying to grab the rebound. I think the guilty party is going to be Chelsea Sancher. It will be. Chelsea Sancher picks up the foul for the Bearcats. See, there you go. The clock is still running. For Sancher, her first personal foul, 6th team foul, and now Mount Vernon ball. 4.5 to go. And this one will mercifully draw to a close. And we'll have a quick post-game show, look at the numbers, and we will make our way out of Monroe and be ready for a doubleheader coming your way on Saturday at Everett Community College. Foul whistled here, and they're going to call a reach-in foul. They're going to call it on Karina Ropo. That is her second personal foul, and the 7th team foul, so both teams now in the bonus. And Jocelyn Evan goes to the free throw line for Mount Vernon. It will not go. Just about everybody touches it coming off, and then, by the way, she grabs her own rebound. Back out for Markin. 3 goes low, won't go. Rebound controlled by Monroe. Up the floor it goes. Ropo at the left wing. And they will work the perimeter here. 20 to shoot. Pull-up jumper by Ropo. Air ball, no good. So last touch there by Monroe. And it'll be Mount Vernon ball. Clock is moving with 3:37 to play. Evans for Mount Vernon brings it across the stripe as they work it down, and then a pushing foul from behind. And Katie Pyland, I think, is going to be the guilty party here for the Monroe Bearcats. Pyland picks up the foul, her first personal foul, and the 8th team foul. And free throw here for Allison Markin. It's on the way, and it is good, and she will get another. 56-13.
I'll tell you what's going to be a good game is when Monroe takes on Snohomish in the next round of the playoffs. 2 very good, very physical, fast teams, and that's going to be an exciting one to watch.
Next free throw is good. 56-14. As Monroe and Snohomish met just on Tuesday night. Snohomish won at 33-31. The earlier meeting, Monroe got it 45-40. So the rubber game of the match will happen on Saturday at Everett Community College, a game you can hear right here, 3 o'clock on Fox Sports 1380 from ECC. A shot on the way. It's going to be offline. That is going to be no good there. Taken by the mysterious number 22. So over to the right side, looked like a drag of the pivot foot, no call there. And the ball went out of bounds. Last touch here by the Bearcats. It'll be Monroe basketball. 2.5 minutes to play. Clock is moving with 56-14 the score. Mount Vernon, no one's open. That's 5 seconds closely guarded. Or 5-second violation, not getting it inbounded. I think, yep, that's everybody. Right now, everybody would rather be someone else in this entire gym.
Well,
including all the players.
I have to say, Mount Vernon has played hard this entire game. They're just, undermanned, tired, but they've been working hard, and they can hold their heads up high. They worked hard and didn't give up this entire ball game. And
played last night, got a win. They play again next Tuesday in the losers bracket. So here comes Monroe. Ropo with 1:42 to play. Back to the basket, Pyland. Back out to Sancher. And they'll go to Ropo again, top of the key. 12 to shoot. Looking down low. And defensively, it's going to be picked off. Grabbed here by Jocelyn Evans. Now to Markin. Looking down low. Still looking. A little bit of a high dribble. Step through move. Puts it up too hard off the glass. No good. Tries to get her own rebound. And then went over the top, I believe, trying to get her own rebound. That's exactly what happened. And they're going to say 1-and-1 here. Oh,
actually, they're going to call it on Monroe.
Pyland. Oh, well, Pyland was there, but I thought Markin went over the top. Yeah, they were confused at the table too, thinking you couldn't possibly call that foul, can you? But yeah, they did. So it will be on Katie Pyland, her second personal foul. 9th team foul, and free throw here for Allison Markin. And it's on the way, and it's good. She'll get another. It's 15 points now for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs.
Markin has all 13 of their points all 11 of their second half points. Now 12.
40-point lead, 56-16. Inside a minute now to play. We'll come back to have a quick post-game show with a look at the stats, and we will head for home and get you ready for Silver Tips tomorrow night as well. Here on Fox Sports 1380. Backing in. Pyland puts it up off the glass and in. Katie Pyland puts it in. It's 58-16. It's a 42-point lead. Up the right side for Mount Vernon.
Pyland has had a really good fourth quarter.
Yeah, she has. Down goes to Markin again. Nearly knocked away. It is knocked away. Stolen here by Monroe. Bearcats with it, bringing it down. Ropo puts it up. A scoop lay-in. It's going to be no good. Rebound controlled by Jenna Moores. 15 seconds to play. Moores will bring it across to the top of the key. Probably one more shot here. Down to 4, down to 3 seconds to go. Dribbling in, will not go, and that will be it. And the final score will be the Monroe Bearcats 58 and the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 16. So a 42-point win for the Monroe Bearcats tonight, and they will advance to play Snohomish coming up on Saturday at Everett Community College. A look at all the rundown of the scores we have. We'll tell you what's happening playoff-wise the rest of the weekend. We'll take a look at the numbers when we come back on the Wesco Wrap postgame show. Again, the final score, the Monroe Bearcats 58, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 16. Snohomish County Western Conference basketball on STSPN.com and Fox Sports 1380. Okay.
so we know, our girls play at 3 o'clock Saturday versus Snohomish at Everett Community College, followed immediately after by the boys' game against Snohomish at Everett Community College. So come on out and cheer on both our boys and girls teams.
Pat did something wrong, but he has Mount Vernon winning.
He's over here looking the books.
No, because you put a bunch of the fourth quarter scores in the third quarter. I was watching that.
Actually, we'll do two. Welcome back live to the Monroe High School gym. A doubleheader of high school basketball tonight, playoff basketball, district tournament basketball. And in game number one, the Monroe Bearcat boys got a 4-point win over the Vernon Marauders, 41-37. And the final in the girls game, 58-16, our final. And both teams now will advance, and Monroe will play Snohomish. Yes, both the boys and the girls, with the girls advancing to play at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Everett Community College. And the game you can hear right here on Fox Sports 1380. And then the second game of our doubleheader that day on Saturday will be at 4:45. And the Monroe boys will take on the Snohomish Panthers. Again, that's 4:45. So two games coming up on Saturday here on Fox Sports 1380. But Bill, tonight in the second game, in the girls game, it was outmanned and outgunned, and the Mount Vernon Bulldogs really didn't have a chance at the outset.
Yeah, well, it was going to be a difficult road for them to hold anyway. You know, coming in, you know, traveling down, but then to playing a really emotional 2-point victory play-in game last night, and then having to drive all the way down here, and then, of course, you know, having one of their players sick, and they had to bring 2 kids off the JV, and then one of their big players underneath, you know, fouling out early. It just wasn't meant to be. But I have to hand it to Mount Vernon. They kept their heads up. They played hard the whole way. And Allison Markin had a pretty nice game with 14 points, but really didn't have any help. On the Monroe side, I was really impressed with Jaden Alexander and how smoothly she plays. She plays within herself, and did a really nice job in the ball game, and you know, some good balance, you know, very physical. You know, Ferreira out in front for Monroe. You know, she is a force to be reckoned with, a good 3-point shooter. She really runs the offense, plays great defense. She's really smart. And so Monroe is going to present big challenges for Snohomish coming up in that second round on a neutral court at Everett Community College. They split earlier in the season, and that's going to be a great ball game. If anybody wants to, see just an excellent high school girls basketball game, that would be a game to go watch.
Well, that whole day, because you can go over there for the price of one game. You're there for 4 games, and you're seeing the semifinals for both the boys and the girls in the 4A. You can't ask for a better for your entertainment dollar on Saturday than to see 4 basketball games.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably more fun than going to watch the finals, because you've got all those games. There's so much on the line. And, those of you that have not been in the Everett Community College's new gymnasium and athletic center, you're in for a real treat if you go on over there. The sight lines are great. The lighting is great. In the end zones, they still took some of the old wood out of the old gym, so it's got some historic value. They got a running track up above and some beautiful, they even have an espresso bar out, out in the foyer, and just a great place to watch high school basketball, and that's going to be a fun one. Talking to Nate Duchesne, athletic director of Mariner between games, he and Larry Walker, the athletic director at Everett Community College, working together to bring that district tournament to that venue on a neutral court, and it was just a wonderful idea.
And that happens again on Saturday. We'll run down exactly what happens on Saturday and take a look at the numbers of this one. Big win tonight for the Monroe Bearcats, final 58-16. We'll come back live to Monroe High School right after this timeout.